In a move that is not at all shocking, Disney CEO Bob Chapek said he looks forward to seeing Kathleen Kennedy run Lucasfilm for years to come.
Have you seen Star Wars?
Fade in. Yesterday was another Disney investors meeting, and there was a lot of oddball questions that were asked, but hey, that was fun to watch. One person specifically asked Disney CEO Bob Chapek if Kathleen Kennedy would be fired and replaced with Dave Filoni or Jon Favreau, and Bob replied with, "We have been absolutely thrilled that we can have the kind of talent like Kathleen Kennedy to direct Lucasfilm. We look forward to having Kathleen Kennedy running the Lucasfilm organization for many years to come." And it's still old news for a lot of us, at least here on Star Wars Only, because we've known for a while now that Kathleen Kennedy, if she wants to remain Lucasfilm president, she absolutely could, and this statement from the new Disney CEO says that she will stay on for years to come. Her contract does end later this year after a 3-year extension in 2018, and if you remember, we talked about Kevin Feige's Star Wars movie possibly releasing in 2027, and when they were talking about that, Disney executive Alan Horn mentioned that Kevin Feige would be working with Kathleen Kennedy on a new era in Star Wars. And I think a big implication from that is that we will have Kathleen Kennedy remain president of Lucasfilm until 2027 when that movie comes out. Now, elephant in the room, I did talk about last week how I was informed that Disney was in talks with George Lucas to return to Lucasfilm for a short 2 to 3 year deal, and that Kathleen Kennedy was not being fired from Lucasfilm or Disney, but had 3 possible companies that she would move into because she was looking for somewhere else. But that may be old news if Kathy does decide to stay on for Lucasfilm, however many years she plans to do, so maybe Kathleen doesn't want to leave Lucasfilm and will stay on later this year. I don't know, I didn't hear anything about this, but hey, this isn't a big surprise to me. A lot of speculation and rumors have been spread about the past 3 or 4 years now that Disney would fire Kathleen Kennedy and replace her with Dave Filoni, and a lot of stuff about the Lucasfilm Civil War that of course is not true, but this pretty much dispels a lot of this. But it is kind of funny that this has gotten so big that someone actually asked the Disney CEO about this in an earnings call. But look at this from Disney's perspective so you can kind of understand why they wouldn't want to get rid of Kathy. They are making money hand over fist with Star Wars and their other properties. Disney Plus has just now reached 100 million subscribers. The Mandalorian is the most popular streaming show these days. 4 out of the 5 most recent Star Wars movies made over $1 billion in the box office. The first High Republic book was #1 on Amazon for many weeks, and in the last Disney earnings call in December, Lucasfilm announced that they were working on 10 different projects in the Star Wars universe. So with all those things to be considered, why would Disney get rid of Kathleen Kennedy right now? Why would they replace her? Mainly if she chooses to stay. If this was a situation where they were like, hey, we really like the work she's doing, but we've been told that she's planning on leaving the company, then we have to look for replacements. And yeah, of course you have to, but right now, there seems to be no indication that they would need to replace her. I know there have been some real complications with her and a lot of complaints that we have had. Most of those were production issues that have been ironed out lately. I personally was a big critic of Kathy between 2017 and 2019 because she lost a lot of directors, had multiple issues in production, and that affected the sequel trilogy story-wise. But since starting the Mandalorian series and making all these new shows and planning out the next 3 Star Wars films years before they even begin production, it seems like Kathy has really found her stride with Star Wars. One of my followers on Twitter had the absolute best and most accurate description of Kathleen's position right now as it stands. He said that Kathy has found her own version of Lucas and Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. She can let these two handle the story and creative decisions while letting her focus on the business side of things, like bringing in talented people into Star Wars, and if Dave and Jon want to work with someone, she does her best to go get that person for them and just bring in the best people to work in Star Wars. I think it's a very fair and honest assessment of the current situation over there at Lucasfilm and the current structure at Lucasfilm. Kathleen is bringing in a lot of people from the industry to work on Star Wars, and these are very talented people. Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni have their own stories like The Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Rangers of the New Republic, and the Ahsoka Tano series. But we also have a different showrunner and head director for each of the other shows like the Cassian Andor series, the Obi-Wan series, the Acolyte, the Lando series. That's 4 live-action Star Wars shows that are being made by 4 separate people. I mean, each one of those have a different director and a different writer. None of them are the same. And that's not including the movies, which already have writers and directors attached to them. So if you look at the Star Wars situation in 2015, you had three guys, J.J. Abrams, Colin Trevorrow, and Rian Johnson, working on the next three movies in the sequel trilogy. Now if we look at Star Wars in 2021, we have close to 20 different people creating Star Wars stories, and they're all in live action, and this is including writers and directors. So we have a lot more talent to work with in the future of Star Wars than we did in the past 5 years. So I think Disney is right to feel optimistic about the future of Star Wars, and if Kathy is responsible for a lot of the recent success, then why would they want to get rid of her? Why wouldn't they want to keep her on? I've always said give credit where credit is due. And did she drop the ball with the sequels by not having the story planned out start to finish? Yes, that was a mistake, but that should be put on her shoulders, J.J. Abrams' shoulders, and Bob Iger. It's not only Kathleen Kennedy. But she did hit a slam dunk with The Mandalorian by allowing John and Dave so much creative freedom to create their own Star Wars story and also pitching them this idea. So I'm not opposed to Kathy staying on as Lucasfilm president. I mean, if she left, there would still be some content going into 2025 that she approved of and helped put together. So I say familiarity is comfort. We're used to Kathy as president, and seemingly so is Disney. I'll tell you about the other three companies that I heard she was considering a move to on March 20th for Tatooine, but until then, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think about Kathleen Kennedy staying on as Lucasfilm president for the foreseeable future? Or do you still hope that Lucas will return? Thank you all for watching. If you like this video, please give it a like or comment because it helps out the channel. If you enjoy Star Wars Only, become an Only fan and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on the latest news in Star Wars. Star Wars Only, I will see you all next time, and may the Force be with you always.